So why small groups?
Really, small groups are the essence of everything that we do at Countryside. Small groups are the way that ministry is handed out to the people. Small groups are the way that relationships are formed. Small groups are the way that we grow as Christians. We can sit in a large group and remain anonymous for the most part, but in small groups you're allowed to and encouraged to share life with one another and to learn from one another, and all those one another's that Scripture talks about, we really see lived out in small group ministry.
Tell me about the process of how you put a group together.
Well, as people sign up for a small group, we try our best to evaluate sort of their phase of life. We want to look at groups that have small kids. We want to look at groups that have high school age kids. We want to look at small groups that don't have any kids in the home. We want to look at small groups that are primarily made up of people who are single, who have a different set of struggles, a different set of concerns based on your phase of life. And that's really how we try to set up groups. The reason when we sign up we ask what night you can meet is we're just trying to gather information on what nights would be best to set up some groups.
So with that process, how do I know I'll like my group, for instance?
Well, you won't know for sure if you'll like your group, just to be honest. But what we're asking for is pretty simple. We're asking for just like a 10-week commitment and 10 weeks to try a group. And at the end of that 10 weeks, we want your honest feedback. We want to know the group leader didn't work for me, the group location didn't work for me, the dynamic of the group didn't work for me. And if you tell us that, then we'll change your group. And no hard feelings, nobody's hurt feelings. Every group will know that from the start. But if you say, I love my group, I want to stay in my group, we will continue with the same group as long as there's not a concern brought to us that I don't like my group. What we don't want you to do is give up on groups completely. We want you to stick it out, because 10 weeks is a good gauge of whether or not you're going to like a group. A couple weeks is not a very good gauge of whether you're going to fit in a group or not. And so that's how we're trying to kind of counter the potential of groups not meshing really well, is we're going to be every 10 weeks stopping and restarting groups with a couple weeks in between.
Gotcha. So I was in a group before, and say I even liked my group. How does that work? Am I still in that group?
The first thing, I really want you to sign up for a group again, and you can even write that on a card or online. You can tell me
you were in a group before.
Yeah, that I was in a group before, that I liked my group, because we're not killing any of the groups that existed before. We're not totally starting over. If you were in a group before and that group worked really well for you, we encourage you to stay in that group. But I also encourage you to sign up so that we do have an accurate gauge of who's in groups and what groups we really need to work on building or plugging more people into. Don't assume that we know that you're in a group. Go ahead and take the time to go ahead and sign up for a group, even if you're already in one.
Gotcha. What about kids? I don't have kids, but what about people who have kids?
Well, primarily, groups are going to be responsible for their own sort of child care, but we also want groups to feel like a family, and so groups hopefully will meet in a way that an interruption every once in a while from a toddler is not going to be the end of the world for your group. However, if you do have kids that you know it's not going to work as a group of kids in anyone's home, or if you have 3 or 4 kids, Wednesday night we're going to have some groups that meet, and Wednesday night from 5 to 7:30 or so, we do have childcare provided through our Wednesday night kids programs. And so that would be an appropriate night probably for you to meet if you don't know how your kids will do in a setting in someone else's home. That's always a different scenario for each person that signs up. But if that's you, go ahead and say Wednesday night would work best for me because of the child care aspect.
And that's where that phase of life thing comes into.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that meet on Wednesday night will probably have kids who are here in the church doing the C3 Kids program. So hopefully that will work that way, that we can get some kids safely watched and also taught some things on Wednesday night, and that will assist those groups in facilitating their meeting and really being able to focus and really share life together in that way.
Gotcha. Last question here. How do I get in a group?
Getting in a group's easy. We have a couple ways you can do it. Number one, you can go to countryside-maryville.org, and there's a big button that says Connect Groups, sign up here. Click that. It'll take you to a form that has like 4 questions on it. And like I said before, I don't care if you even answer all the questions. Just put your name, a way to contact you, and it would really help if you would tell us what night works best for you so we can kind of form some of these groups together. But there's also forms in the foyer that have the same exact questions. So your name, your contact information, and what night works best. Or if you don't want to do any of that and you're watching this maybe on your computer, send me an email, nick@countryside-maryville.org. Say, I want to be in a group. I'll get you in a group. Groups are forming. Like I said, we're going to try to kick them off August 28th. Will be the time that groups are really going to start going. So if you're hearing this or seeing this close to August 28th, don't freak out. We'll get you in a group if you tell us you want to be in a group. We just want, like I said at the beginning, small groups are the lifeblood of what we do at Countryside. They're the way that ministry is seen. It's the way that we really have an opportunity to show people Jesus through our relationships together, but also through even service as a small group, through fellowship as a small group, through inviting people into our small group that maybe don't know anything about Jesus. That's where a lot of that kind of ministry happens. So we really encourage you to get in a group, and don't let anything stop you from being in a group. If you have reservations, talk to me, call me, send me an email. I would love to talk to you about what groups look like. And if you have questions or concerns, now's the time to ask. Because like I said, we really just want you to get in a group and to grow in that setting. We believe that they're very important. So hopefully that answers some questions you might have had about groups. Like I said, if not, contact me on Facebook or through email or call me and we'll talk about it. But have a great day, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nick. If you have just 2 minutes, you can go check out our website and click on the Connect Groups tab and just go ahead and fill that out right now. We encourage you to do that. Thanks.